Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair. The experience of hosting the World Cup for us in South Africa was one which was very ambivalent and one which was very exciting and one which was also very draining in many respects. One of the things I must say as a rider to my remarks is that we did it really well. There were no disasters, there were no embarrassments, and I think even FIFA, the federation, the Football Federation, has agreed that it was one of the best World Cups to be held in history and also one of the most profitable. Now, where does that leave us? There are 3 points: social, political, and economic. On a social level, these wonderful trains, which were built at the cost of about 52 billion rands, which is just under $800 million US, what's the issue there? The issue is that, number one, it didn't bring anybody closer together. These airports which were built, there was nothing particularly wrong with the old airports in the first place. And even though we might argue that these were things that were going to happen anyway, that these were part of some kind of a social investment plan, would it have happened so soon? Would it have happened at the cost of 10 years worth of housing investment, which could have been built with the money that we used at the World Cup? Would it have been at the cost of, for example, the seven seats per stadia, which each of which could have actually built a school library across the South African nation? Only 7% of schools in South Africa have a functioning library. So you ask me whether 7 bits of plastic were worth the trade-off that we actually have had. Another thing that one has to... Thank you. The whole notion around reputation and building national pride, it seems as though emerging economies are using sporting events as some kind of a debut onto the world stage. China with the Olympics, India with the Commonwealth Games, and now Ukraine with UEFA 2012. South Africa, of course, as well with the FIFA World Cup. But why is this the most necessary and pertinent way to debut onto the world platform? Now, I also wonder whether it is worth mentioning at this moment that the cost of this does not link with foreign direct investment. I beg to differ with the previous speakers. Nowhere, not in Germany, not after Beijing, not after Sydney, has it been proven tangibly that a major global sporting event led to direct foreign investment and that this investment was anchored in the local economy. Any growth that may have occurred was very short term, was very much linked to a particular season, which was those events. Any employment which was generated was again short-term and transient and did not lead into lasting cascading benefits. For a few weeks in South Africa, the crime rate decreased significantly. That is probably one of the things that most people think about when they think about my country. The crime rate was almost zero. And then soon after that, it kind of sort of started spiking up again, back to where most people are familiar with it being. It is not the only defining feature of our country, but it is only but one. However, it is not the panacea for every social event. It is not the panacea for every social problem. During the event, of course, small businesses, small-scale entrepreneurs, street traders, hawkers were completely marginalized from the processes. They did not get any of the proceeds. Union busting, on a final note in my last 10 seconds, was also a huge feature of some of the practices that we see. A lot of bullying from big businesses. Anybody who wanted to make a bit of money who was not in big business was completely marginalized. So I urge you, friends from Ukraine, to think very carefully and to learn the lessons that we've learned very painfully. Thank you.